Hey, beautiful night from Lagos, Nigeria. All right, beautiful night from Lagos, Nigeria. How are you doing today? Let me see who is on. Let me see who is here tonight. Who is joining me tonight? This is the night economy. Who is joining me tonight? Who is participating in tonight's class? Let me see who you are. Let me see where you are. Let's roll it. All right, let me see who is joining me tonight. Who is joining me tonight? This is the night economy. Who is joining me tonight? Let's do this. The night economy. Okay, let's be here today. Who is joining me tonight? Wow, it's good to be here after a while. The last time I had the meeting was a few days ago. I was in another city at that moment, and I'm in another city now. So who is joining me tonight? Let me see who is here. Let me see. Okay, by 11, I'm kicking off tonight class. So let me see who is participating tonight. If you're there, let me see you. Let me see you. Let me hear you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're joining us from today. Okay, who is joining us tonight? Do not hesitate to sign up tonight. Let's see who is joining us tonight. All right, who is joining us tonight? Who is joining us tonight? Today is Wednesday, the 17th day of the month of January, 2024. Who is joining us today? Who is joining us today? Go Olakunle. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. I really know where you're watching us from. Who is joining us tonight? All right, who is joining me today? Who is joining me today? And where are you joining me from? All right, Mr. Olakunle, it's good to have you here today. It's good to have you here tonight. Who is joining us today? Who is joining us today? Tonight we're going to be having a very interesting conversation, and it's going to be useful to you. Courage, it's good to have you here today. Let me know where you are joining us from. Let me know where you are joining us from. This is 11 p.m. Nigeria time. In South Africa, it's now 12 midnight. And in Australia, it's an early hour of the morning. Let's see who is joining us today. In Kiribati, it's almost afternoon. Who is joining us today? Thank you, Mr. Olakunle, for joining us from Lagos. Courage, let's know where you're joining us from. It's a very beautiful one today. Who is joining us tonight? Who is joining us? Where are you joining us from? It's 11 o'clock Nigerian time. Who is joining us tonight? Who is joining us tonight? Where are you joining from? You know, it's a beautiful one to know where you are joining us from. Another thing tonight is when you start watching this and you find what we're sharing quite interesting and quite impressive, and you feel that someone else needs to learn this tonight, please do not hesitate to share so that people can also learn. All right. Today, I'm looking at why 96% of the world, statistically, it could even be more than that, why people are going to end up being poor and, burying its monkeys. Thanks for watching. Let's know where you're joining us from tonight. Let's know where you're from Ghana. Courage joining us from Ghana. Thank you for joining us from Ghana. Belize Montes, let me know where you're watching from today. Okay, why is that the word? Why is it that many people in the world today a lot of people are going to die poor. A lot of people are not going to end up having money. Not because they are not intelligent, not because they are not smart, but because something is missing and something is lacking. And that's the conversation we are going to have today. So let me know where you are joining from. Let me know where you are joining from, okay? It's very, very important. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you're watching from. And let's see how we can turn around the game today, all right? Let's see how we can turn around the game today. One of the things that my mentor said to me many, many years ago, and he said to me one time, he said that if you see a man that is wealthy, and if you see a man that is poor, if you see a man that is living an average life, something has separated them. And over the years, he told me one thing that separates people. And he said that what separates people is what we call decision. Now, there's a difference between decision and choice. And choice simply means you have alternative. But decision means that you cut off every other thing, and that is the only thing that is remaining. The reason why most people struggle financially, we're going to learn that tonight. The reason why most people struggle financially, the reason why most people don't do well financially, the reason why most people don't thrive financially is because success is a choice for them. It's not yet a decision. Because what does it mean to decide? To decide is a two-word. It means that D and side. It means that to cut off every other thing. That means you have cut off every other distractions, you have cut off every other alternatives, you focus on that which is going to make you an amazing stuff. And so, what are you deciding? A lot of people are making choices, but they are not deciding, right? And one of the things that I'm doing, and we're doing right now in our organization, is I don't just want to hire people that want to just get by in life. I want to hire people that decided to be wealthy. So what I'm doing is that the organization is creating a system for you to make you wealthy, because most people have never decided to be successful. Most people have a choice of being successful, but I'm not talking about having a choice. I'm talking about deciding. So tonight is to know the reason why most people are not making a decision, and how to also make a better decision in your life so that you can do better things. How to make a better decision with your finances, how to make better decision with your life, how to make a better decision, and that is going to literally change everything for you. So, thanks for joining tonight. Hakim Pelu, let you know where you're joining from. I would really appreciate you. I would like to know, Mr. Dedari, my brother. Let's know where you're watching from. I would really know where you're watching from. It's good to connect with everyone tonight. I would like to connect more with you. Let me know where you're watching from. The Recycle station. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what part of the world you are watching from. I would like to really connect with you. So today, why is it that most people are failing financially? Why is that most people are just only getting by financially? Because this is what it is. People are only getting by financially because they have not made a decision to get ahead financially. And that's a tough word, And somebody will say, oh, no. Excuse me. You can say I'm not making a decision, but because you don't know what a decision is. A decision is not a choice. A decision is not a choice. Choice is different from a decision. Columbus Dennis, I would like to thank you for joining today. Let's know where you're watching from. Let's know where you're watching from. Do not hesitate to share the video. Do not hesitate to share with people. Decision is very powerful. And most people don't really understand that decision making is a skill set. And the moment you don't understand this, you will be changing yourself in life to be able to get to where you want to go. So what decision are you making? Or are you even making a decision at all? Or you're just trying to be part of something, making choices. Decide, because the only way to cure distraction in your life is to live by decision. See, having a choice can still get you distracted, but what happens is the moment you make a decision, you will realize that you will cut off a lot of distraction. Because, by the way, the word decision means to cut off so many things and focus on the right thing. So, by virtue of making a decision, you are cutting off many things in your life. So what are you deciding to do? What have you decided to do in the year 2024 and beyond? Have you decided to be wealthy? Have you decided to have freedom lifestyle? Have you decided to build a global mini empire? What have you decided? Many people have choices, but they have not decided. And so they get easily distracted. Because the moment you decide, the moment you have decided, a lot of distraction is going to get off your table. Because the moment you have decided, there are many things you are not going to do. Because decision makes so many things in your life to become non-negotiable. I've decided to be this way. I've decided to be faithful. I've decided to be wealthy. I've decided to be fruitful. I've decided to be successful. Okay, now if you have decided to be this thing, nothing is going to distract you from being that thing. But you know what it is? Most people have never decided. Most people have never decided to make their yearly income, their monthly income. What about if you make that decision today? What about if you decide to be happy? Or what about if you decide to be joyful? It is a decision. It means that there is nothing that will be around you that will make you. You know, one of the interesting stories I've read in my life is one of the story of the former president of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. He wrote in one of his books, Never Give Up. Very, very amazing book. You can find the book and read it, especially if you want to do big things in your life. It's called Never Give Up. And in one of the chapters of the book, it was talking about decision. It was talking about deciding. And he said when he was almost bankrupt to the tune of $1 billion. Do you hear what I just said? To the tune of $1 billion. I think few dollars away from $1 billion. In the midst of all of these things, he said that was a moment in his life that his phone book almost went quiet. You know, people were not calling him anymore. You know, some people, a couple of team members left him. You know, they were scared for him. They have to leave. But he said something, that in the midst of those moments, he decided only to go forward. He decided only to be wealthy. He decided never to be wannabes. He decided never to be once upon a time he was wealthy. No, he decided that he's going to be a successful person in spite of his challenges. Now, because of the decision that he made, ideas and things begin to come to him. You know, one of the challenges of our life today is when people begin to equate failure or failing to stigma. When people stigmatize you because you fail, because the definition of failing is erroneous. Because what does failure mean? Failure means feedback. It does not mean setback. Failure means you have not yet gotten what you wanted. Now, if failure means you have not yet gotten what you wanted, you know why most people thought they have failed? Because they have not made a decision to be successful. And that is why when you have not made a decision to be successful, that rather you see success as a choice, and then you ain't getting it, you will feel that you have failed. But the moment you make a decision to be successful, failing only become a test. So failing is testing. In other words, you don't see it as a setback. You see it as a feedback. And so, what's your decision today? What have you decided to do? About your career, about your work, about your business. What have you decided to do? Come on, what have you decided to do? Have you decided to turn your life around? Have you decided to make your present income your least income for the rest of your life? Have you decided to take your failure and turn it to your triumph and all of that? What have you decided to do? No one can make a decision for you. You have to do that. See, the world that we live in today does not have a very amazing response to failing. And so when you are failing, the world thinks you have failed. And so the only thing that you have to do is to make a decision that you are succeeding. The decision is your choice. It's your decision. It's not theirs. So in the midst of all of the challenges you are coming across, you have to decide that you are winning. Emeka, it's good to see you again. Beautiful night, brother. Beautiful night. I was planning to send you a mail today, and then maybe you receive that mail tomorrow from me, okay? So, what have you decided to do? What have you decided to do? You know, Mr. Donald Trump, the former president of the United States of America, decided to be successful. Even when he decided to go back for presidency again. Guess what happened? In the midst of all of the noise and all of the criticism and all of the challenges and all of that, he decided to go for it. What are you deciding to do with your economy, with your finances in the year 2024? What have you decided to do? What have you decided to do with your health? What have you decided to do with your life? What have you decided to do? You know, financial freedom does not mean you will not face challenges financially. Financial freedom only means that when you fall, you have decided to rise again. So what have you decided to do? Thank you, Emeka, for sharing that. So remember, if this is making sense to you tonight, when you just decide to share this, decide to put people's name in the comment section and let them see the people that you believe need to watch this today. What have you decided to do? When you are facing challenges in life, one of the most important things that you need to do is to decide. What have you decided to do? I decide to win. Okay? I decide to win. I decide to be successful. I decided to be successful. I have decided to succeed in spite of everything that's around me. I've decided to be a global phenomenon instead of all that is around me. So, success is a decision. To build a global company, you have to decide. You know, in my study here, I have a couple of books written on Elon Musk. And one of the things I've known about Mr. Elon Musk is that Mr. Elon Musk is a decisive man. He decided to move forward. Even when he was running one of his business, and it was almost at the point of bankruptcy, he decided to keep moving forward and to win. So what have you decided to do? If you are easily distracted, check your level of decision making. What have you decided to do? And you see, a lot of people often think that decision making it's an event. No, decision making is not an event. No, it's not an event. It's a process. So the moment you know that decision making is not an event, excuse me, that decision making is not an event, it's a process, it's going to change every narrative for you. So you want to do something. What decision are you making on it? You know, my mentor said to me that today, when you see a wealthy man, when you see a man that is not wealthy, check the way they make a decision about their lives. One of the things I learned from a man called Jeff Bezos in the course of reading a couple of his biographies and things I've written about him. When Bezos said something in one of his interviews, he said, one of the things that have helped him in life and they have him to do a lot of things that he has done is that he learned to make decision early enough. And he called his decision-making process, it's called a worst case scenario. And how does it go about the worst case scenario? I wrote that kind of model in my book, Close or Lose, worst case scenario. So we asked himself, what is the worst thing that will happen if I choose to go in this direction? And then whatever the answer is for him, he's going to make a decision on that because he's going to cut off everything. Remember, decision making is about cutting off every other thing and focusing on one thing. But most people make a decision based on their feelings. Most people make decisions based on their instinct. They never make a decision based on a process. And until you learn to make a decision based on process, you will not be able to make progress with your decision. I will say that again. Until you are able to make a decision based on process, you will never be able to make progress in your decision. So I need you to put in the comment section, if you hear what I'm saying, that greatness is a decision away. Put it in the comment there. Greatness is a decision away. Put it in the comment section. If you hear what I just said, put it in the comment section. Greatness is a decision away. You know that smallness is a decision. And greatness is also a decision. Most people settle for smallness. And they just thought that being small is a choice. But no, there's something stronger than a choice. It's called a decision. The moment you make a decision to be great, you will not buy into the distraction of smallness. Because let me tell you, in life, smallness can be comfortable. If all that you just want to do in your life is just to be able to pay your bills. You know, you can run a business and all that you're just doing with a business, you're just making enough to pay your staff. You're just making enough to get by. And you have not made a decision to expand into a bigger thing in your life. And guess what happened? I read a story of companies that have literally gone bankrupt and how they make a decision to bounce back and to become bigger in their life. One of such books is here. I love this book, okay? One of such book is this. It's called The Jungle Rule. Very interesting book. How to be a tiger in business. A Jungle Rule is a story about a business that became something else. An amazing book, okay? Jungle. It's called Jungle Rules. Okay. Life is a jungle, man. If you live in Nigeria, if you live on the continent of Africa, even if you live in the Western world, life is a jungle. You need to know how to juggle things to be able to fly. What decision are you making? You see, greatness is a decision away. Greatness is a decision away. Do not glunt over people when they fall, as long as they make a decision to rise. You see, you cannot glunt over a man. You cannot fully write off a man that has made a decision to be successful. Because the moment you make a decision to be successful, success becomes whatever it takes. And most people never understand this. You may be somewhere in a position right now whereby, look as if most things in your life are not working the way you expected it to work. But you know what I'm bringing to you today? Make a decision to be successful. Make a decision to live where you are to be. Decide today. Decide to win. One thing I found is that most people never get to the point of decision. They are always at the point of choices. No, success, greatness is not a game of choice. It's a game of a decision. Being wealthy. You know why 96% of people end up poor? They never make a decision to be rich. They were just dangling. They were indecisive about being wealthy. They were being indecisive about being successful. Oh, you want to fly in the world of sales. Decide to be a super salesman. Decide to be a business leader. You have to decide. Or you want a good family. Decide to have a good family, my friend. It has to be a decision. And you see, decision making is a daily thing. So what have you decided to do with your life? Mr. Okoye, thank you for joining us. Mr. Amsat Adetono, thank you for joining us. Idris Salami, thank you for joining us. Ahmed Babatunde, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate to tell us where you are watching from. I'd like to stay in touch with you. Let me know where you're watching from what planet are you watching us from. It's very, very important to do that. That's number one. Number two, if you find this quite interesting, quite educative, please do not hesitate to share the video. And lastly, if you know the people that need to watch this video, the people that need to be part of this, do not hesitate. Decide to put their name in the comment section. If they wake up, if they have not slept, they will wake up to see this video and so that they can watch it. All right. And that means you have also found a way to help someone. Isaiah Amadi, thank you for joining this evening. This is a night economy. It's good to connect with you guys tonight. Mr. Hamza, thank you for watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you. Let's know where you're watching from. Let's know where you're watching from. Okay? Decide to win. Decide to win. Now, this is what I say to people. Decision has an upside and a downside. And because most people treat decision making as an event, not a process, as an instinct, not a design, so they don't practically sit down and weigh things and decide. Okay? So what are you deciding to do? You have to understand that. What have you decided to do? What have you decided to become? And so, the moment you have decided, you stop giving excuses. Excuses are not for decision makers. Isaiah Madi, thank you for watching all the way from Owerri. I really appreciate you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Beautiful, beautiful night, beautiful people. Decide to win. Decide to rise from your low state. Decide to be happy. Decide to be joyful. What are you deciding tonight? What decision are you making? Let me tell you something. Make a decision to be rich. Yes. You know, as funny as that is, a lot of people never make a decision to be rich. So because they never make a decision to be rich, they are confusing their own programming and their own consciousness. Your life will always go in the path of the least resistance. May I tell you something? Most people part of least resistance is struggle. Most people part of least resistance is poverty. Most people part of least resistance is self-inflicted prison. So most people part of least resistance is smallness. So because they never make a decision for greatness, smallness is a part of least resistance, so they go in the path of smallness. Most people part of least resistance is being broke, because they never make a decision to be rich, so being broke becomes a part of the least resistance, and that is the part that we go through. So what have you decided to do? What have you decided to go for? Most people part of least resistance is to spend all the money they made. They will never buy an asset. They will never build an asset that will make them live a life of freedom. This is a part of the least resistance that follows. So as a result of that, remember that everyone will go in the path of least resistance. Most people part of least resistance is struggle. Struggling is most people part of least. May I shock you today that most people are already in the Strugglers Hall of Fame. They are there because of the part of their programming. So what do you want to do to be able to break out of that programming? The first thing that you need to do is to decide. I was a 16-year-old boy living in my parents' house in a poverty-stricken environment, living in a one-room apartment with my father, my mother, and my older siblings. And my father was a generous man. He went to the village. He saw my cousin. He brought my cousin to still stay in one-room apartment with us. But as a 16-year-old fella, I decided that I'm going to be wealthy. I decided that whatever it takes, legally, credibly, morally, I am going to be rich. It was not a choice. It was a decision. So till now, you see me that there is no alternative to winning for me. There is no alternative to being wealthy. There is no alternative to being great. There is no alternative to wealthiness for me. It is the only decision I have made in my life. Therefore, nothing is going to stop me. Nothing should stop you at the same time. He said, I win, I win. There is no alternative to victory for me. There is no alternative for breakthrough for me. In other words, I have decided to be wealthy. And that is what I don't know whether you have done. So if you're looking at what are the reasons why most people are broke, what are the reasons why most people end up poor? Most people end up poor because being wealthy is never a decision for them. Or it's a choice. There's an alternative. You will hear things like, not everybody will be rich. Have you not heard that before? Not everybody will be wealthy. It will say that we quote scripture like, the poor will not cease among us. If the poor is not going to cease among you, must he be among the poor? If the poor is not going to cease among us, you know why the poor is not going to cease among us? The poor is not going to cease among us because some people are not going to decide to be wealthy. Some people are not going to decide to be rich. They are going to be living their being wealthy to chance. Let me tell you something. If you leave your being wealthy to chance, you don't have a chance to be wealthy. If you leave your being wealthy to chance, you don't have a chance to be wealthy. So you don't leave it to chance. You build it on a decision. So if you leave your being wealthy to chance, you don't have a chance to be wealthy. Because those people that live being wealthy to chance don't have a chance. By the way, let me tell you what gives you a chance in life. What gives you a chance in life is a decision that you make, because the decision that will make will change you, and the change will give you a chance. So what happened to most people is that they are depending on chance, knowing that chance depends on decisions. Oh, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Most people are depending on chance for them to be wealthy. But guess what happened? Chance is depending on decision to make you wealthy. So what happened is most people don't have a chance because they are depending on a chance. Being wealthy is not a chance. It's a decision. See, it's a decision that will make you read a book. Because you have decided to be wealthy, you are willing to do whatever it takes to do it. You're willing to be bad at it until you get good at it, because you have decided to be successful at it. You know those moments in your life when you decided to drive. You decided to drive because you have decided that you have the car, you have to drive it. You can't keep waiting on other people for you to drive the car. So what happened to you? The moment you do that, something happened to you. You will begin to take steps. You will begin to take some chances on yourself. But it all begins from one moment. You have decided. So if you're waiting on chance, you don't have a chance. If you depend on chance for you to be wealthy, you don't have a chance to be wealthy. But let me tell you, because chance is also dependent on decision that you make, and until you make a decision, you cannot create a change, and until you create a change, you don't have a chance. So decision leads to change leads to a chance. So what decision are you making today? Come on, talk to me. What decision are you making today? So the moment you make a decision, everything in your life is going to change. The moment you make a decision, everything in your life is going to change. And that is very fundamental. And that is going to be what is going to change your life. And for me, that is the decision you need to make. What decision are you making today? What decision are you making today? You have been living a life of not being decisive. Yes, I'm talking about you. You've been living a life of not being decisive about so many things in your life. And number two, you don't know how to make a decision. Because you don't know how to make a decision, it's literally limiting you. So what you want to do today is to develop the skill set of knowing how to make a decision. Because the moment you know how to make a decision, everything in your life will shift. Decision is what shifts the universe in your favor. Decision is what shifts the universe in your favor. So the moment you know how to make a decision, everything is going to shift in your favor. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the key point. So how do you make a decision? You need to know that decisions are in two dimensions. Number one, there's an upside to every decision that you make, and there's a downside to every decision that you make. Now, you want to make a decision on something. What is the upside? Now, let me take you to a journey now. What is the upside for you if you become wealthy? What is the upside? What is the upside for you being wealthy? Now, what is the downside for you not being wealthy? Now, look at it. The downside to being wealthy, until the downside to being wealthy is extremely bigger than the upside of being wealthy, you will never be wealthy. Now, because you don't know how to make a decision, you don't know how to measure your positive and the negative. That's what my mentor taught me. How to measure my positives and my negatives and be able to put the things in my front and look at life from that paradigm. What is a decision that you need to make? So there's a limited side to your, there's a limited upside. Now, every time you are making a decision, you must have, you have unlimited upside. What's unlimited upside to being successful? Then you have a limited downsides. Now, the moment you have a limited downsides and unlimited upsides, other people may not see it, but because you are genuine and you are sincere with yourself, you have made a decision on that moment. Now, because you have unlimited upside and an unlimited downside, that is a good decision to make. And then you go ahead. You want to do business. What is the upside of starting the business? Is the upside unlimited or limited? Now, this is what happened. Most people make a decision in emotional way. So what happened is that they are making a decision that the downside is unlimited and the upside is limited. And as a result of that, guess what happened to them? They get into the place and they begin to regret the rest of their life. Most people put their money into a business because somebody have told them that they should take a risk, but the person have not told them that there's a thin line between taking a risk and putting your life at risk. So they put their money, they decided to put their money to the cut of everything and put their money. But this is what they did not learn. There's an upside and there's a downside. So there's only a two sides to every decision you are making in your life. Upside and downside. Now, the only thing that makes a decision interesting to you, and that's one of the things I also learned from Jeff Bezos, he make a lot of decisions in business, in the things that he does, the moves that he want to make. But the decisions are based on the upside and downside. That's what he called the worst case scenario. So, I make a decision to be a super salesman. Guess what happened? I look at the downsides of selling, and I look at the upside of selling. I realize that the upside of selling is unlimited, and the downsides of selling is very limited. What is the downside? Somebody will say no to me. But the moment I know how to sell, the moment I master how to sell, the skill is a portable skill. It's a movable skill. It can be moved into several things in my life. It has an unlimited upside, and it has a limited downside. But you know what happened to people? A lot of people would rather choose the limited upside and unlimited downsides. And so, because they don't know how to measure these things, it's what you measure. It's only what you measure that you can manage. It's only what you manage that you can monitor. It's only what you monitor that you can multiply. I will say that again. It's only what you measure that you can manage. Okay? Let me put it this way. It's only what you measure that you can monitor. It's only what you monitor that you can manage. It's only what you manage that you can multiply. Do you get the point? Do you get the point now? It's only what you measure that you can monitor. It's only what you monitor that you can manage. It's only what you manage that you can multiply. So what you want to do, you want to be able to look at things and make a decision. I want to get this job. What is the downside of getting this job? And what is the upside? I want to work with this person. What is the upside of getting this, of working with this person? And what is the downside? Oh, I want to be able to get married to this person. What is the upside of getting married to this person? And what is the downside of getting married to this person? Oh, I want to go have an adventure with my life. What is the upside of having an adventure with my life? And what is the downside of having this adventure with my life? The moment you know how to weigh these things, your life is going to change. Because the truth of the matter is, make a decision based on unlimited upside and a limited downside. Everything have a downside and everything often have some upside. But the problem with most people is that they are only looking at the upside. They never look at the effect of the upside. They are only looking at the downside. They never look at the effect of the downside. If the downside is limited and the upside is unlimited, you can go ahead. It doesn't matter who it is, but don't lie to yourself. That is a caveat. Don't lie to yourself. Now, most people never sit down with this. Most people never sit down with this. Most people never weigh things. Most people never learn to write things down. What is the downside of achieving financial freedom in your life? What is the upside of saving money and investing intelligently? Do you know there's a difference between being good at making money and being good at investing money? I hope you know there is a difference between them. Most people are only successful earning money. They're never successful investing the money. But it takes the two of them for you to have financial success. I call it the ES plus the RS is equal to the FX. The ES plus the IS is equals to the FS. What is FS? FS is equal to financial success. Financial success is equal to earning success, earning skill plus investing skill. Earning skill. Earning skill. Earning skill plus investing skill. Earning skill plus investing skill. So, the ability to look at that is going to literally change everything for you, because most people have an earning skill. They're good at earning money, but they're not good at investing money. The moment you master how to do both, you are going to be financially successful. So, but it's a decision. Decision to earn money. Decision to earn big money. Decision to invest the money to create freedom. Because I see a lot of things every single day. People invest for the wrong reasons. People tell you they are investing for appreciation. By the way, I was talking to a private coaching client yesterday, and we were on the call, and he was talking to me, and we were talking about real estate, and he asked me a question. And I said to him, appreciation is in 3 levels. Appreciation is in 3 levels. And appreciation in real estate is not created equally. Think about that for a nanoseconds. Appreciation is not created equally. So what is the difference between that? Appreciation is not created equally. So the first appreciation is called the earnings, it's called fake appreciation. And that's what most people buy into, fake one, fake appreciation. The second one is what we call the fair market appreciation, fair market. But this is not the appreciation that make people rich. The appreciation that make you wealthy is called the forced appreciation, the appreciation that you force to happen. And there is a science and the methodology to that. So when you want to buy something, what decision? Because buying is a decision. Do you know why most people don't buy things? Let me tell you why most people don't buy things. Why most people that are supposed to buy product from you don't buy product? Because most people are afraid of making a wrong decision. Why are they afraid of making a wrong decision? Because they don't know how to make decisions. No one has ever taught them that decision making is an high income skill. Decision making is a well-building skill set. So if you know how to make a decision, guess what happens? Whenever you see someone that is rich and someone that is broke, they're just a decision away. It doesn't necessarily mean that one other person is smarter than the other person. Decision they make about how they make money. Decision they make about what they do with their money. Decision they make about what they do with their time. Decision they make about who they hang out with. Decision they make about where they go. Decision they make about the books they read. Decision they make about life they want to live. And these are the things that separate people. So when you see people, decision is like rapture. The moment you make a decision, you get cut off from something. So what happened is that financial rapture is real. And financial Armageddon is also real. Most people are living in financial heaven, and few other people are living in financial hell. Why? It's a decision away. Because hell and heaven is not just a place that you go to, it's also the things that you go through. Think about that for a nanosecond. So what decision are you making? What is the downside of the decision that you are making? What is the upside of the decision that you are making? The moment you can get this, guess what happened? You are going to change. So look at every time you see a wealthy man, stop just thinking about someone that is lucky. Now, at a point in time, a decision was made. Oh, a decision to go start your own business, a decision to work with a particular person, a decision to be mentored, a decision to be part of a program, a decision to pay to play, a decision at a time, and that decision changed your life. Now, this is what happened. I don't want you to just hit the home run. I want you to be able to make a decision that based on something that literally transform your life. And that means that you must learn how to make a decision based on process, not just on luck. So what happened is that some people have made some decision in their life that led them to a fortune, but they don't understand the process that led to that decision making that make them wealthy today. So they can't repeat that process. We are almost always making a decision. So when you know that where you are today is a decision that you made yesterday, you can then turn things around today and make a different decision for yourself. Why are you making a decision to hang around people that choose not to be wealthy where you want to be wealthy? Just because you want to be accepted. Don't you think that's a self-esteem? You see, in wealth creation, you have to first be selfish before you can be generous. Do I need to say that again? In wealth creation, you have to first learn to be selfish before you can be self-generous. And what does that mean? You have to learn to take care of yourself first. You have to learn to decide to be somebody first because you can help somebody else. If you're not somebody, you can't help somebody. And most people, you see, the problem with a lot of people is that they are so obsessed to be an hero to someone else that they end up as a zero to themselves. You didn't pick what I just put down. A lot of people are so obsessed to be an hero to someone else that they end up being a zero to themselves. But you know what life is all about? Decide to be your own hero. Decide to be your own hero. Decide to be one of the most successful person you know in your own lifetime. You know, one of the things that my mentor said to me, he said, Tari, you are reading. I was reading successful books. I was reading books from successful men. And my mentor said to me one day, it was touching. He said, Tari, you know one decision I want you to make in your life? I need you to make a decision for you to be one of the most successful human beings you know in your lifetime. I need you to make a decision today. You're watching me and you're watching this video. It could be a replay for you, but I want you to make a decision to be one of the most successful human beings you know in your lifetime. How interesting would that be? How transformative would that decision be? You know, most people want to be an hero. They are so obsessed to be an hero to other people that they end up being a zero to themselves. Most people study successful people. Most people tell the stories of successful people. But guess what? I love it. It's good to study stories of successful people. I do that too. But there is nothing like you choose to be deciding to be the most successful person, one of the most successful person, one of the most advancing human being that you know in your own lifetime. That's my decision, my friend. Is that your decision? Is that what you have chosen to do with your life? Come on, think about it. You have studied successful people. You are studying successful people. But as you're studying it, what is it helping you? What decision is it helping you to make? You're stepping into that organization, decided to be one of the most successful person that ever walked through that organization. Okay? Make a decision to be one of the most successful person that ever walked through that organization in your lifetime. And the moment you do that, guess what's going to happen to you? Everything, because you see, decision creates a shift in your life. The moment you make a decision, there is a shift in your world. The reason why it looks as if most things are not shifting in your world today is because you have not decided yet. You have to decide to be one of the most successful person you know in your lifetime. Stop seeking hero. Choose to be your own hero. All right? Stop chasing heroes. Choose to be your own heroes. It does not mean you're not learning from people. You know, one of the problems of Africa is that what Africa is supposed to idolize, they don't idolize. What they are supposed to learn from, they idolize. Learn from other people. Idolize the principles that make them what they are. So you see, rather than idolizing principles, we end up idolizing persons. And as a result of that, we then end up doing hero worship rather than learning from other people so that we can become our own heroes. Learn from people. Learn from people. One of the things about successful people is every successful person treat learning as an attitude. Learn from people. Learn from people. Learn from people. Do you understand that? Learn from people. Don't idolize people. Learn from them. The principles that they have used, idolize those principles and practice them in your life. Because you must take principles, practice them, develop proficiency from them, and as a result of the proficiency you develop from the practice, you bring your own progress. So, principle, practice, proficiency, and progress. So what happened is that rather than people taking principles and practicing them, people rather ignore the principles and idolize a person that is practicing the principle. No, you're not meant to idolize person practicing principle. You're meant to respect the principle they're practicing, respect them, and use the principles to live your life. All right? That's what happened. And that's what most people don't do. So what do? They idolize a person. They say, look at that man. And that's one of the reasons why in Africa, people don't even share the principles that make them who they are. They leave the principles in mystery form so that people can come for them and people can literally idolize them. There is no possibility in any man that is not in every man. You have not just learned it. Respect people. There are people that use people. They just want to learn from you. They act as if they respect you. They just to pick something from you and walk away. But that's not the way to go. Okay, that's not the way to go. But don't idolize people. Respect people. Idolize the principle. Put it into your life. Because it's the principle that they practice, that they develop proficiency on, that causes the progress to happen. The same thing you should do. Every person that succeeded is just showing you that you can succeed. Everybody that have made it progress in life, it just show you that you can make progress. Now, but what happened is that when we see people succeeding, we think that success is excluding us. No, that is a wrong programming, and that's what keeps a lot of people poor. Don't fall into that trap. Mega Prechi, good to see you today. Mr. Adelodun, thank you for joining today. Thank you for watching from Lagos. Emily, thank you for watching from Lagos. Thank you. I would like to know where you're watching from. Blessed Vitus, I'd like to know where you're watching from. Anthony Chukudi, I'd like to know where you're watching from part of the world you are watching us from. Wisdom John, I would like to know where you're watching from. Kola Wale Oluwaseun Odunayo. Uche na Wuche, I'd like to know where you're watching from. Thank you, Mr. Peter, for joining us tonight. I hope you're picking something from what I'm sharing. What have you decided to do? Have you decided to be one of the most successful persons you know in your lifetime? Have you decided to turn around your business? Have you decided to turn around your career? Have you decided to turn around your sales? Have you decided? You have to decide right now. You have to decide right now. And that's what most people don't do. That's what most people don't do. They don't decide. They don't decide. They don't decide to do these things. They don't decide to make this thing work for them. Because as a result of all of these things, they are limiting their own lives and they're not able to do so many wealthy things with their lives. But I bring to you today, what decision are you making about your finances? What decision are you making about buying the land? You see, you have made choices about buying land, an asset that will make you free for the past couple of years, but you have not decided. Because the moment you have decided, you cut off all the distractions. And as a result of that, you'll be able to do what you are meant to do that will lead to what you're supposed to do. That's what I bring you today. What have you decided to do? What have you decided to do? All right, because deciding to do this, I've seen how deciding to, one time I met a couple and they were trying to make choices to buy an asset, but they're not going ahead to buy it. Until one day they decided and they started paying for land. And ultimately they end up paying for the land without even knowing. And the same land they bought about 7 years ago is now worth about 50 million. For about, I think they bought it for about 7 million. It's now worth about 50 million. Why? They decided. That singular decision changed their fortune. Because you see, most people are dependent on chance to be successful. But chance is also dependent on your decision to give you a chance. So what are you deciding to do today? What are you deciding to do today? I've come to bring you this section today just to let you know that you must decide to do something with your life. What have you decided to do? What have you decided to do? What have you decided to do? I need to know. Tell me, what have you decided to do? What have you decided to do? Because you see, you are giving excuses about so many things, but your greatness is a decision away. So you need to make a decision today. You need to make a decision to be a super salesman. You need to make a decision to be a wealthy person. You need to make a decision to be happy. You need to make a decision. It is a decision that you need to make. But the question I'm asking you, have you made a decision now? All right? Have you made a decision? That's what I need you to do now. Make a decision. And that singular point will literally change everything for you. Make a decision today. Okay? So if you do that, it's going to help you. So make a decision. That's what I made. That's the decision I made and changed my life. Every day I wake up, I'm making a decision to be happy. Every day I make a decision to be successful. Every day I'm making a decision to move forward toward my dream. Because your dream is a decision away. Trust me, your dream is a decision away. Let that be your choice now. Okay? Your dream is a decision away, my friend. Your dream is a decision away. So, I hope this helped you tonight. If this helped you in any way, in any shades and any form, please, I need you to share the video. This is the Night Economy. I come to you almost every night, every night to share principles and ideas with you. And if you find this useful today, do me a favor. Share this video with someone in your timeline. Put the name of someone that will wake up early in the morning to watch this video, someone that will just close from work after a while to watch this video, so that they can also learn that perhaps what is holding them back from moving to the next level of their life is a decision they need to make today. Decision making changes life. Remember, in decision making, there is upside and there is a downside. What you want to know in the upside is that the upside is a positive, the downside is a negative. You want to know the unlimited upside, and then you want to be able to have a limited downside. The moment you can do that, guess what happened to you? You're going to win. And that's what keeps a lot of people poor. That's why 97% of the people in the world, 96% of the people in the world is going to die poor, because no one ever told them that decision making is an high income skill. Decision making is a wealth building skill set. And the moment you can do this, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to literally change your life. Nick Anthony, thank you for joining today. Thank you everyone for joining from everywhere that you join. If you're watching this replay, put it on the throat replay. If you have any question to ask me, please do ask me. Now, I want to open the floor for you. If there's anyone today that want to ask me a question, let me know who you are. If you want to ask me a question, if you need clarity on what I've just shared with you, I want to see you if you're there and see if I can bring you online. If there's anyone that want to ask me a question, just indicate that you want to ask me a question, and I will bring you live to ask me a question. If you are open to come live, okay. If you're there to come live to ask me a question, let me see you. If you are here to ask me a question, let me see you so that I can bring you to my camera. If you have any question to ask me, let me know in the comment section. If you don't have any, I will have to say bye-bye tonight. Okay? But in case you're watching this as a replay and you have any question to ask me, put it in the comment section and I would know how to find a way to respond to you. I always love to connect with you. Do not hesitate to share this video, and in case you are here, you have not read any of my books. I run a promo on this book the other time, but the promo is over. I'm going to do how to have a great 2024. I believe my guys are going to, before the month comes to an end, for all the people that bought this book for the promo, I'm going to still run that show, and I'm going to make it available for everyone that has participated in that. Okay, and I will see you again. My name is Tariq Cash. I'm so honored to have spent this hour with you as we get to the midnight. I will see you again. I love you all. God bless you. Have a fantastic night. Bye.